I'm going to be upfront here. I just finished making another video about Kurt Cobain. Where Did You Sleep Last Night? Live. We analyzed that wonderful performance. I did that video because a video that I did on Smells Like Teen Spirit a little bit ago, people have been asking for more Kurt. And one subscriber to my channel, JP, just left me a comment after I finished filming that other one saying, essentially, I've been longing for authenticity, and Kurt is as authentic as it gets in today's day and age. And man, I really resonated with that comment in a lot of ways, and musically too. Nirvana, that era that they were in the midst of and that they helped usher in, and of course I was of teenage years at that point, there was this incredible, genuine, raw, emotive spirit about it. And I got another comment right next to it from Hubert saying, please make a video on Bradley Nowell from Sublime. I thought, there's another super authentic, raw, talented vocalist. Not the most technically amazing, but there's a lot of inspiration and a lot of connectedness in how he performed. So I've got the isolated vocals for Sublime, Santeria. I'm excited to dig into this with you. Being able to express with your voice in an authentic, honest way first starts with understanding the basics of mechanics, how your body should work when you sing. If you'd like help dialing that in so that you can express meaningfully with your voice, click the link below and join my free voice course, and I'll help you get familiar with your body so that it doesn't get in the way when you try to sing. Instead, it works for you and with you. Here we go.
I don't practice Santeria. I ain't got no crystal ball. I had $1 million, but I'd spend it all if I could find...
We'll talk about this more, but he's got a very distinct, free-sounding vibrato for how pushed he sounds sometimes. I don't mean pushed in a bad way, but also listen, and he shared this in common with a lot of other good singers, Kurt being one of them.
Got no crystal ball. I had $1 million.
Listen to that. I had $1 million.
I had $1 million.
A million had. He abandons into his head voice for the first part of that H, and then also on million, he lets himself go into his head voice there. He's not married to his chest voice. This is key when we start talking about vibrato. So keep this in mind. We'll talk about it more in a minute.
I'd spend it all if I could find that Hannah in that Sancho that she's found. Well, I'd pop a cap in Sancho and I'd slap her down.
Okay, we have to talk about this particular phrase. This is incredible.
In Sancho and I'd slap her down.
Okay, let's talk about the dynamics and how this line has so many different flavors in it. Sancho and I'd slap, Sancho and I'd slap. So take this in pieces and practice dialing all these different flavors into your voice. We got a on the verge of breakup.
Sancho,
not Sancho. I'm adding compression to the point right before breakup. That's how he generally sings. And you can hear that where it sounds like this push that's happening even when he's not broken up. But then he takes it further.
Sancho and I slap.
Sancho and I slap. Sancho and I slap, slap, slap. Right on slap, he gets gritty. Now listen here.
Sancho and I slap her.
Clean there.
Her down.
So here we've got this. Let's get it clean first. Down. Now, I didn't phrase like he did at all or do what he did in terms of resonances, but I got the notes. That's good.
Down.
Now, on this part, where is he here on his when he goes to vibrato? That's head voice. He abandons into head voice for his vibrato.
Down.
Down. Down. I don't have that down well yet, but I'm playing with that coordination. That's tough to do. He puts compression in. Down. Abandons into head voice. And you can't really even hear it. It's almost like he loses his placement for a minute. Down. Really, really interesting. His vibrato is slow. Down. Very based on airflow moderation, even in the midst of his vibrato. So if we're going to continue to work this into our voice, down, down, down. Let your voice do what it does as you're experimenting. The point is, we've got slap her down. We're abandoning into different resonances, and that's what makes this so expressive. And then we're moderating our airflow a ton. Tons of air, less air. Even in the midst of vibrato. He is so good at this, and that's what gives him that really flavored, pushed yet free sound.
I really wanna know, baby.
Even there, sorry to stop it again so soon, but listen to this.
I really wanna know.
Notice on the very end of no, he goes into head voice. No, I really wanna know. Head voice is at the very end of that as he goes into his vibrato.
Baby.
There again.
What I really wanna say, I can't define. Well, it's love that I lead. Oh, my soul will have to wait till I get back. Find a Hannah of my own.
Okay, here.
Well, it's love that I lead.
First of all, no pitch correction used here. Great. Doesn't need it. It's expressive. It's awesome. But listen to his posture here.
Well, it's love.
Well, it's love. Well, it's love. Well, it's. It's intentionally. Well, it's. This isn't. Well, it's love. That's not what it is. It's the sense that he is reaching up to that note, which is cool. He doesn't do that all the time, but it does give him this neat sort of like I'm at my limits sound, even though he's not.
Well, it's love.
Well, it's. What I'm doing is I'm being a little bit more nasal with it. And I'm intentionally trying to bring my chest up and tensing my neck a little bit. As long as you get out of this, like he does, and don't stay locked in this position of neck tension, you are fine. It's okay to do some of that stuff as long as you can be liquid.
Well, it's love that I lead.
It's love and I lead. Backing off on that allows me to get to that articulation afterward. I'm more free now that I start thinking down on the note as I go into that articulation. Very key.
Oh, my soul will have to wait till I get back. Find a Hannah of my own.
There's that H again.
Daddy's gonna love wanting know.
I like that too. More evidence of how dynamically he uses air.
Daddy's gonna love wanting know.
Right? This part, Daddy's gonna love. He brings that grit in and out by breaching that threshold where he's, Daddy, Daddy. I realize that's different than what he did, but that's the point, right? We want to feel that little threshold out and let those gritty moments come out on command. And you can only do that if you have a very intimate relationship with how your airflow works in your voice.
I feel the break, feel the break, feel the break, and I gotta live it up. Oh yeah. Well,
notice how speech-like this is.
I feel the break, feel the break.
Very rhythmic. Feel the break, feel the break, feel the break. There's this articulating that's happening where he's not that concerned about hitting the pitches. He's concerned more about the rhythm and the phrasing that's coming across kind of speech level here. It's almost like this speech level yell.
Feel the break and I gotta live it up. Oh yeah. Well, I swear that I really wanna know how, baby.
Ooh.
What I really wanna say, I can define. Back up, make
yes.
it go.
Listen here.
I can define.
I can. There's a lot of compression happening there, even though he's low. This is a perfect demonstration of we don't just add this sort of compression and grit as we go higher. He was very tender and almost head voicey down here earlier, and now he's being kind of aggressive for his lower. Listen how tender he is here.
What I really want to say, I can define.
I can define. What I really want to say, I can. Right? Then.
Back up, make.
And he retains that posture. But we're going low. We're kind of setting ourselves up for it, and then we're releasing into that. Very key. We're not forcing. We're not going, that note has to be that way. We're storing up energy and then releasing. The best, most expressive singers release into their best moments.
Back up, make it go.
His voice cracks there unintentionally. Great.
My soul will have to.
Awesome. Now you can hear. Listen. That's so great. So in the mic bleed, I hear full fidelity sound back there. I hear lower frequencies. And of course, you can hear his feet and stuff like that. This tells me that this take was probably recorded with speakers, not headphones. It was really common, especially in this era, for the speakers to be, the control room speakers in the studio to be thrown out of phase, and then they just sing with the speakers blaring at them and utilizing some mic rejection as well. That way they could really get into the vibe and feel the music. And we feel that here. This was a very live, raw take. It's great. Also, let's talk a little bit about the reverb that he's got on this track. This era had a lot of subtle reverb, but when you isolate these tracks, you hear the reverb a lot more. You hear the reverb as being more dense than you hear it in the full mix. Here's me totally dry. 1, 2. I hear just a touch of room. Very short, like this. Hey, hopefully you're listening in headphones. There's just a little bit of very short space that comes out there. Now listen. Hey. I've got and you've seen me use this plugin before if you've watched some of my other videos, but this is a room reverb, and the time is short. Mix is set to 100% on an aux track. But the point is I'm putting just a tiny bit of space around my voice. Then we've got We've got a longer hall reverb going on. And I'm just using the same plugin. You can get this with lots of different plugins. And the time has been increased considerably. But also notice, there's a pre-delay. If I turn the pre-delay all the way, hey, I don't get this sense that my voice happens, and then the reverb envelops me. Hey, hear that? When we listen to Bradley's vocals, we hear them up front first, and then you hear the reverb.
My soul will have to wait till I get back.
You still hear that nice presence. It's not drowned in this long reverb. And it certainly doesn't come in as the events are happening. There's a bit of a delay. Pre-delay, pre-delay, there it is. Pre-delay mixed to the right way, a little too much, is powerful because you still get that nice, close, intimate thing while building space around it. The power of joining a early reflections, short space-oriented reverb with a longer hall pre-delayed reverb.
Ooh, what I really wanna say, baby, what I really wanna say is I've got mine, and I'll make it, yes, I'm coming up. Tell Santeria that if he...
Listen to the way he has his vowels there.
Yes, I'm coming up.
Coming up, up, up. That's how it's not just up. That's huge to me. Up, up. He totally changes the placement there, and it makes it really interesting. Up. I'm exaggerating it, but if he'd just done this,
I'm coming up.
Coming up, that doesn't do it. He's got that reached thing happening on, but it's dynamic, just like I said earlier. Coming up, up, it makes it more interesting. Right? There's something about that that's way better than just interesting. Right? And then your voice does things you don't want it to do anyway. Like just happened to me. Interesting. Oh. Mess with that placement. Mess with vowel modifications just because it's kind of cool and expressive.
Tell Santeria that if he knows what is good for him, he best go run and hide. Daddy's got a new 45.
Oh, great line, right?
Daddy's got a
Daddy's got a new, kind of raspy, compressed.
40.
New 40, new 4. Hugely dynamic in terms of how these notes are different.
45.
And then he kind of reaches for it. New 45, 5, right? New rasp, new 45. There's all sorts of different textures in that very short phrase. What happens if you take this kind of approach with your voice? Now, lots of you are probably thinking, oh, he's not really thinking about all this stuff. He's just singing. True. He's not thinking about all this stuff. He's just singing. But by us noticing, listening, and experimenting, we can then put this stuff in our own voice and pay attention to it for a while. And then, with time and introspection and habits, we too can just sing like this.
And I won't think twice to stick that bell straight down Sancho's throat. Believe me when I say that I got something for it.
Listen to this next section, how calmly and head voicey he starts and how he adds compression as the line goes on. There's a lot of words.
And I won't think twice to stick that bell straight down Sancho's throat.
He like yells more and more as the line goes on, but he doesn't start there. Again, dynamics.
Believe me when I say that I got something for his punk ass. What I really want to know, baby, what I really want to say is there's just one way back and I'll make it, yeah. My soul will have to wait.
Hear that crack? Listen to that vibrato. Wait. It's so slow, and it's almost like this tremolo effect with airflow. Really, really neat. Ooh, and then you can hear him crack in there.
To wait.
To wait. Doesn't care.
To wait.
It's very pretty. it's a pretty sound. Expression, carefree expression, and this ability and willingness to be in and out of so many different types of placements and airflow situations is what makes this so compelling. And you hear it hugely in these isolated vocals. When you're listening in the context of the full mix, you're grooving and you realize how expressive and how cool his voice sounds, even though he's not on pitch, even not all the time. He's got a pretty good pitch, but it's not perfect, but it's really, really groovy and expressive and exactly what things need. He can do this because he has stumbled upon ways to be diverse and expressive with his voice. Take this, learn from it, try things with your own voice and see what happens. Hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoy Sublime in general. I'm glad for the suggestions. Make other suggestions as well. Again, join my free course if you'd like to work with me more with your own voice. We'll see you for more.